Welcome to Add to Cart, the show where we celebrate creativity in commerce. This season, we are talking to entrepreneurs in all types of e-commerce, but also in all stages of e-commerce. And today's brand is at the very beginnings of their awesome product journey. Today, we have Megan Henken from MyUTI, who is the co-founder of the brand that is making it possible for you to get essential health information delivered to your door so that you can be a better health advocate. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Thank you for having me.
This is a product that I think any woman in her 20s wishes existed.
Yes.
Because it helps folks with a very basic need. So tell people the very basic need you help with.
We help diagnose a urinary tract infection. So UTIs are actually the second most common infection in the United States and often triggered by sexual activity, so very popular in your 20s, as you said. But then as women age and as your body changes, you also are more susceptible to urinary tract infections. So we are helping people along the way, finding solutions easy at home.
I love this product because there have been so many things that we now got used to testing at home, especially in COVID. We all now got used to doing medical testing at home. This is a new type of medical testing at home. Tell us how it works.
So it's funny that you bring up COVID. So we actually launched this right as COVID started. So we figured, we're all sitting at home swabbing our nose. Why do we still need to go to a clinic just to pee in a cup? So we have been, my co-founder and I have been in the industry for a really long time, and so decided to use our network and figure out a way that we could bring testing to somebody's home. And then we also knew that UTIs were searched on Google over 250,000 times a month. So people were looking for solutions that they could do themselves. So we just needed to bring a more convenient way to do it.
Yeah, okay, so we all get used to this idea pretty quick of, I'm gonna swab my nose, put it in this thing, wait 15 minutes and see if I'm gonna have a COVID infection. This is a little different in that you still have to pee.
Yeah.
But tell people how it works.
Well, it arrives at your doorstep. You get to collect your sample, pee in a cup, in the privacy of your own home, and then you put it into a clinical pack, which is essentially just like UPS shipping material, and it goes straight to the lab, and then we run your test, and in 24 hours you have your results.
And then if you find out that you've got a UTI, what is that going to happen next for you?
It's really up to you. So we've created a system where you can connect with somebody really easily through our platform. It is also cash-based, so you'd get your results, download, same day, be able to get treatment, where they could call in a prescription for you. Or if you're more comfortable going to your own physician, you can download the results and then share them with your clinician to get treatment.
And I'm sure you have gotten both praise and pushback on this idea of people peeing in a cup in their house. So what are some of the things that you've heard from folks in your industry about this product?
In women's health, we want to create agency. We want people to feel in control of their care pathway. And for us, in our world right now, it starts with UTIs, but there are other conditions that look like UTIs, but are not. They may be STIs, they may be BV or a yeast infection, and these are very, very common conditions, but there's a lot of stigma associated with it. And so that's the biggest thing for us is education. And so on the pro side, I think that we see from clinicians as well as people that are on the laboratory side of business is that you don't normally get access to this type of testing unless you've visited a specialist, right? And so to get an appointment with a specialist is going to take you upwards of 6 to 12 weeks. So if you've got a UTI now, that's really unhelpful, right?
And for women who, or men who have a UTI and are in a lot of pain, the only alternative really is to walk in urgent care and pay a significantly larger upfront cost to get that test accomplished.
Yes, yes. And so I think that's the other piece of it is, you can go to urgent care. Absolutely, you can pay that copay. They may what's called empirically treat you, but they also will send off testing to make sure, did I give that person the right drug? But you may or may not get follow-up because if you don't call back to say, hey, this came back or I'm still not feeling right, they have no idea if what they gave you worked.
How do you help your consumer digest that information, though, in a way that allows them to be educated in the way that you wish?
Yeah. Our reporting is very simplistic. You can see, like on a scale, how complicated your UTI is. It gives very simple instructions as far as the recommended antibiotics, and more than just one, because you may have an allergy, right, to something that's recommended. So we wanted to make it super simplistic. The other piece is that clinicians are naturally a bit pessimistic and question when you go and navigate things on your own, which is fair, because I think we've all Googled symptoms of a different ailment every once in a while and you assume the worst, right? So part of what we also provide is a clinician discussion guide. So you can say, you know, here's why I chose to order this test. These are the symptoms that I had. You can download the symptom questionnaire as well.
It helps you avoid a lot of Dr. Google and allows you to actually have a grounded conversation about what's going on with your health. Nobody is excited about their urinary tract infection.
No.
How have you thought about marketing this product in a way that allows people to feel some positive feelings instead of, because this is truly challenging, right? If you are selling a product that is in medicine or in health and wellness or even in fitness, I think about people are often coming to you in a state of pain, discomfort, unhappiness. There's a challenge to thinking through, how am I going to creatively express our brand? How am I going to express our brand promise and our value prop without sort of just immediately falling into some negative tropes?
Yeah, I know. Well, and how do you make a urine cup sexy? I mean, honestly, it's not, you know, so for us, I think it really started with the packaging. You know, if it's going to arrive at your doorstep, is it something that I'm going to be embarrassed about? Is it something that I'm going to be excited about opening? Maybe it's not as exciting as opening a brand new iPhone, but you know, for us, it was important that the packaging of a urine cup somehow felt luxurious in a way, because to your point, I think when you talk about healthcare, when you talk about UTIs, the experience is very austere. It's just
austere isn't even the right word. It's like, this is actively awkward.
Yeah. It's not great. And so I think that for us, that was the thing, also having experienced frequent UTIs, that is like, there's got to be a better way. So we also went to Target and CVS and Walgreens and looked at, well, how else are UTI products, or these women's health products around bacterial vaginosis and yeast infections all being marketed, and everything was very pink, very like uber feminine, and that was also something that we wanted to stay away from.
The pink it and shrink it phenomena plays a particularly prominent role when it comes to women's health.
Yeah. Bridging that gap between medical healthcare and then CPG, right? Like, how do you bridge that? How do you become a lifestyle brand? And then the photography that goes along with that, where, you know, can you show a woman in a bathroom and it be classy and not come across as like dirty or gross, right? But I think it's also a very common condition, so we don't want to continue feeding the stigma that is like, yeah, everybody does have to go to the bathroom, but we can do it in a fun and cheeky way. And so that's kind of what we're attempting and trying to do with our TikToks and Instagram Reels.
What are some of the primary ways that customers discover MyUTI?
Pay-per-click. So we're doing the pay-per-click SEO, classic e-com stuff in the background.
And that's because there's just a ton of people searching UTIs, or what's that about?
Yeah, there's a ton of people searching UTIs. And then with social, right, when we're looking at short form video, doing stuff on TikTok, doing some Reels, which was way outside of our comfort zone for Lindsay and I.
It's out of the comfort zone of a lot of founders.
Oh my gosh. It's much different when you're talking about something clinically, right, than actually having to be on TikTok and talk about some of the other conditions that are common triggers for UTIs, and
It's a lot of awkward talk.
Oh, it's very
Okay.
it's very awkward, and I tend to be one of the most open, liberal, let's talk about your vaginal health, let's do this. My entire career has been around STIs, talking about herpes, talking about all sorts of things that make people very uncomfortable.
What an incredible career.
I know,
I have
right?
a career where I got used to talking about herpes. Okay.
I know. I mean, the joke is like I've pretty much stayed in the same 4 to 6 inch region my entire career. But but taking that from like a one-on-one conversation to actually amplifying it on social media is a whole other realm of uncomfortable. Although you'd be surprised like how many people have reached out to us and they're like, "Hey, I totally would. I'll talk about this on camera.
I will totally be an influencer
I'm
for
doing
this
it
product."
because I'll get a free kit and I have an issue." So we're actually just kind of starting that content right now.
Are you an influencer with an infection?
Yes.
Reach
yes.
out now. Something that I didn't even know was a trend until I started talking to you was that people are seeking a ton of medical advice on TikTok. There are famous doctors, there are famous patients, people who are talking about their medical situation. And you have also embraced this trend with something called Ask a Urologist. And the responses to these videos amaze me. People are asking you for a medical diagnosis and help with cranberry pills.
Yeah.
So tell us about how Ask a Urologist works and how you came up with this idea.
Yeah. You hit on something that's really big, is that a lot of times people have questions, but then when you get in the doctor's office, you go blank, you forget to ask, you think that it's not important, you feel rushed, right? So if we can create a lane where we can answer questions in this short form video, let's do it, right? So that's where the Ask the Urologist concept came from. And we have to be really careful, right? Because I'm not a doctor, we're not a telehealth platform, and so we have to take a very strong line that says you need to go see a clinician to manage your care if it's that concerning.
What is something else that is really working in terms of helping you find your core customer in a category where, again, they're probably not that excited to find you?
We are developing content constantly about what causes a UTI, a lot of these like self-diagnosis questions, so that if people are searching, we are there. So the first touch point may be educating you, but you'll remember our name and know to come back to us next time you actually have an infection or something going on.
At the end of the day, there's a trend really around just being a bigger advocate for your own healthcare in a system where it's very easy to get lost. It's very easy to spend a lot of money and not know what you got out of it. It's very easy to feel like things aren't getting better. And it's very easy to get prescribed pills and not actually know if they're going to help you. And so that larger trend of healthcare advocacy and trying to be an advocate for your health, how do you think about your brand's role in allowing people to be their own advocate?
Yeah. The biggest piece for us in this democratization of healthcare was making the product cash-based only. A lot of treatment decisions, whether it's testing or therapeutics, for people when you go to a doctor, sometimes it is dictated by your insurance. Sometimes it is dictated by them thinking, oh, this will be covered for you, or it will not. And so they make the decision that you aren't going to want to take on that expense, so they may not bring it up. And the reality is we should all have the information to then decide for ourselves what's the value of my health? What's the value of me deciding to get this test done or to seek treatment in a specific way?
On this season of Add to Cart, we are sharing the things that brands need to check out, so to speak, from every single episode. So I'm hearing 3 things they need to check out that they can learn from MyUTI. 1, subvert branding. If your industry is going with pink it and shrink it, do the opposite. 2, use Google search to your advantage. 250,000 people are searching MyUTI. Make your brand name the search itself. It will probably give you some lift. And if there's a TikTok trend that you can make your own, hop right on that. MyUTI does Ask a Urologist and poses the most personal questions imaginable, but gets a ton of engagement on content like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely
brave.
Works.
Yeah.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Maybe the asterisk on this is be brave.
Yeah.
If you want to start a medical device company, if you want to get into advocating for your health online, I hope you found something valuable from this episode, and if you did, we would love it if you would subscribe. Of course, the most important thing to do, though, is to learn more about MyUTI. So Megan, go ahead and look in that camera over there and tell the good people where they can learn more about your business.
Perfect. Well, you can learn more about MyUTI and your urinary tract and vaginal health on myuti.com, or you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram, same type of thing, MyUTI test.